Do you need to put gear oil in your differential? Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the notifications below. What I have here is a Moser differential, which is for my Factory 533 hot rod. This is actually something that I ordered directly from Factory 5, and it was directly drop shipped from Moser. So it comes all built, sealed, everything ready to go, except you have to put your own oil in it. And so with this particular model for my car, you have to use additive friction modifier, 4 ounces of that. And you have to use 80 to 90 gear oil. And what was interesting is when I was in my manual for how to build this and put this together to get the oil specifications in the appendix, I've never used gear oil before. So it was like, is the 4 ounce friction modifier, is that a specification of the gear oil itself? Like, it wasn't really clear that this was a separate product because it was in the same SKU line, if you will. But I found out, I actually called Moser, found out the techniques of actually putting this all in here. And they suggested, since this is an 8.8, this is actually a Mustang differential. You know, they said there was 3 different versions or 3 different brands that they thought was really good. One was GM, one was Motorcraft, which is Ford, and one was, I believe, Kendall. And since I wanted to get this happening and, you know, get it rolling, I just went down to my local Ford dealer, got this. Wasn't super expensive because it was a dealer price. It was like $8. So one thing you'll need for this is you'll need a tube. You'll need some rubber gloves because you do not want to get any of this stuff on your hand. And just so you know, this stuff is just super, super stinky, really nasty stuff. So keep them covered up, and putting this in is the best way to do it. So it comes with an actual little filler cap, if you can see that. And these bottles already come with that same type of tip. And so you just put your hose on the tip, feed your hose into the filler area, and fill the stuff in. And you know when you're full when it starts leaking out. So if you notice, I have this thing propped up to where it's nice and flat on a level surface within reason. And once this starts pouring out, then we know we're full. So because of that, and we know we're only putting in less than 2 quarts, and this is taking up some of that space, we're putting this in first. So that way, or you can put it in second before the 3rd bottle, and get that stuff in there, and that way we're going to have a bottle with a little bit left over, because you want to make sure you don't overfill your gearbox. So let's give it a shot. So to recap, I was able to put the 4 ounces of the modifier in first. Then the tube itself, if I would have done it differently, I would have had a larger tube. For the modifier, it wasn't too bad. But what I would do is I would actually unscrew the cap as I was letting the air back into the bottle once it was squeezed and I needed to uncompress it, and then close it tight so it didn't come out. You could also pop a hole in the top. That would actually feed a lot faster. The tube was too small for the actual gear oil, not because of the viscosity of the oil or anything, it's just that it was so much mass stuff. So again, you could pop a hole on top, but I was actually able to actually get the filler top right inside and forget the tube. However, if this was installed on a car or something, you would have to have a tube to try to get in there and then use a compressor to blow it out into there. But all in all, very good. The stuff was pretty stinky on the modifier. The gear oil wasn't too bad. But the only other thing that you have to do is there's a breather hole. And I'll bring the camera around in a second, but there's a breather hole, and in your package that you get with some instructions and stuff, they give you this little fitting that you got to put in there. So when it's finally installed in the car, you do have a tube coming up as a breather hole, just so when this thing heats up and stuff, it's able to outgas. So I hope that helps you out with your differential gear oil. Have a great day.